Alright, so here's where we are on the 85 C10. Um, y'all will probably be watching this. So, probably don't need to do a recap. I will do a quick recap just in case I do a part 2 on this, and this would be a good place to continue. Swapped modules and swapped coils, and it did not work. Back up, when I was stranded on the road, I checked and I had power to the distributor. The hot wire going to the distributor was hot, and no blown fuses. So swapped the module out, still wouldn't start. Swapped the coil out, still wouldn't start. Checked the bypass the ESC, that still wouldn't start. Checked the power wire to the distributor again, and now I don't have power there. Hot wired the distributor and it started up. So some point in all this, because I had power to it in the beginning, some point I've lost power to it. So I don't know if I've got, I don't know, you know, at some point messing with all these wires, something happened to it, because I lost power to this wire. So I'm going to start tracing this wire. I checked the fuses. Fuses are good. Ignition switch is working. It's powering the ignition side of the coil, or of the fuse box, as it should. So that leads me to believe the ignition switch is good. The ignition fuses, like I said, are not blown. Turn the key off, no power to the ignition fuses. Turn the key on, and you have power to both sides of it. So this wire has a problem, or maybe I should separate it. I wonder if it has come unplugged partially from there. Maybe we should check it. I've been checking it right here. Maybe we have a bad connection in this connector. So I think I can get my test light in there, and we'll check it there. Okay. So I've got power to the back side of this plug. So this little jumper that they use for the computer has lost its connection somehow. So I'm going to undo the wire here and see what's happened here. Now, like I said, oh, you know what? I think I might have checked power back here. Can't remember. Maybe I unplugged it and checked it. I can't remember. But I may have stuck my test probe in there and checked for power. Don't remember. So that other coil, for whatever reason, the original one did test bad with the ohm meter. So I'm not sure, and it had that wire that was coming apart. So I don't know. That coil may be bad. I bought a new coil, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a new coil in it, and I probably will go ahead and take the distributor cap off and put my original ignition module back in here, because it does have a different number on it. So, and I don't like this Excel coil because you can't get the plug wires off. So, like I said, I picked up a $17 coil on Amazon, so we're going to put that in there. But let's see why we don't have power on the other side of that little jumper wire. Alright, so that connection is just a little dirty. Now we're good. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take that back apart, put my original module back on it, put this new coil in it, and I had one plug wire that had some rust in it. I'm not going to do a full tune-up on it yet. I want to get it running and drive it a little bit, and then I'll do a full tune-up on it. So that rusty plug wire and rusty cap, I don't want to put a new cap on it because I'm afraid that plug wire will cause some corrosion. That plug wire's got some rust in it, caused some corrosion on the new cap. So I'm just going to clean that connection on the, peel the boot on the plug wire back, clean that up real good, sand the rust off of it, and then sand the cap, the copper contact on it, and just kind of clean that up real good. Put some dielectric grease on it, and it should be good then. So I'm not going to film this because I've already filmed all that. Let's just pull it all apart and put it all back together, and then I'll crank it up and we should be good to go. So I got it all back together, and unfortunately we're not firing. So I think my original module was bad. So I think that's what happened. This is the one I had put in it that it was running on, and it's possible from what I've read, they were saying one of the common reasons these go bad is the coil. And it's possible that coil may have been firing, but because it wasn't reading correctly on the ohm meter, may have been pulling too much current from this module, or the module could have just been old and finally died. But we're not firing, so I've hooked up my test, which I had done before the other module that showed it was firing. If you look now, we're just hooked up to the tack wire. Not firing. So we'll pull it. That's weird. It goes to ground when the key's off. I don't know why it does that, but it looks like we've got a bad module. I did test that positive wire again, and it's good. Unplugged it, checked it, and it's still hot. So either that brand new coil I got is no good, which I kind of doubt that. It's always possible. But I'm leaning towards my original issue was probably the module. So I should have just left this one in there. The only reason I didn't is because they're different numbers. I wasn't sure what this one's for. I'm thinking I will just put this one in it, and we'll run it. Or maybe let me look up these numbers and see what they're for. See if I can see what this is supposed to fit. Back from the parts store, got a Master Pro ignition module. That's all they had in stock. I went ahead and had them test this one, and it is bad. I didn't think about it, but I should have had them. Well, I know this one's actually good, but it would have been nice to have them load test it. But didn't think about it, left this one at home. This one will go in my bag that I'll keep in the truck in case I have an issue. So this new one came with some thermal paste, but I've already got some Arctic Silver on the distributor side. So I just went ahead and threw some Arctic Silver on here, and I'll just save that. I'll probably just throw that thermal paste. You know what? I'll throw this module with this thermal paste in this box and put it in the truck. And so that'll be a spare I can use if I have any issues. I don't really trust this module, and I don't know what it's from. I had gotten a truck full of, and I just dropped it. I had gotten a truck that had just a ton of parts in the back of it, and there was an old distributor in the back that had been out in the rain. The distributor itself is locked up, it won't turn, but this module was in it, and like I said, this truck ran on it when I put it in there. But there's several different versions of this module, and it kind of differs on how they get their signal from the knock sensor, from what I can tell. And so I kind of want to make sure I have the right one in it. So $20, $20.99. O'Reilly's, which is who carries Master Pro, they listed it. It was like $43.99, but AutoZone has their house brand for $20.99. So I got them to price match. So I got the Master Pro for $20.99 instead of $43.99. So anyway, let me get it installed, and we should be good. I went ahead and rechecked the igniter. I had already checked it and it tested good, but what I didn't do was, while I had my test probes on it, wiggle the wires, move the wires all around for the ignition, or for the igniter. Those wires bend when the vacuum advances the distributor. It pulls that igniter around, and so of course that affects, those wires bend when the igniter gets moved around, like I said, and so they're prone, or they can break. And so when you're testing the igniter, make sure to move the wires around to make sure you don't have a broken wire somewhere. But they were good, so no problem with the igniter. Let's get it all back together and it should run.